Well, by the official time, keeping peace here in the conference room, it's 1 o'clock. I'll call the FEP meeting to order with all members present. I have a motion to adopt the May 23rd, 2019 minutes, if you've had a chance to review them.
So moved.
I'm going to abstain since I wasn't here, and I figured you might do that. I'll second with respect to Mr. Curry's fact he was not here. Makes perfect sense. All those in favor of adopting the minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. One abstention, Mr. Curry. Superintendent's report.
Average daily population, the breakdown is Rappahannock with 23 at 6.9%, Shenandoah with 136 at 41%, and Warren County with 173 at 52.1%. Total member jurisdiction ADP is 332. We still have one contract bed with Prince William County. We have 76 with Page, 93 with Culpeper, bringing the total facility ADP to 502. Vacancies, we currently have 30 officer vacancies. This still does include the 8 being held for vacancy savings. We have 2 medical vacancies. Hopefully that's going to be on here soon. We just interviewed another nurse this morning. Looks pretty promising. So, facility grounds and maintenance. I didn't have a chance to put this on here. I'm obtaining quotes for the resealing of the parking lot that we'd approved for the budget for this year. It looks like the first quote is under what we had appropriated, but I'm going to get another quote, hopefully 2, just to make sure we're getting the best price we can.
Send me an email. We just put a bid out for a formal bid, and we received 2 proposals back. In fact, we share those names with you.
Okay, sounds good. Recruitment and retention, we have 2 officers and 1 medical applicant and background. Inmate programs, during this period, the workforce has provided services to all 3 member jurisdictions, and including the Skyline Regional Justice Academy. There's some photos of some of the work that's being done at various locations, from the Rappahannock County Elementary School to Shenandoah County Park, the Criminal Justice Academy, and then our normal operations here in Warren of mowing 522, the soccerplex, and various other areas. That's all I have.
Any insight on the vacancies?
Obviously May 1, our salary increase took effect. So since that, we have seen an uptick in applicants. Some of them have not been, candidates for interviews, but we have started seeing an increase in applications. So hopefully that's going to continue, and we can try to get some of these vacancies filled. But even with staffing where it's at, we're still typically running about 1 to maybe 2 mandatory overtime positions a shift. So we're still in good shape. I meet regularly with staff to talk about, morale and things like that, and everybody's fine with where we're at, and they understand. And
every once in a while you see a comment that we're grossly understaffed, but I think people don't realize that.
Right.
No, we have adequate staffing. You just have to have some overtime, and certainly I think some people want to take advantage of that when the opportunity's there. And
we're not operating any differently than any other facility in the state. Everybody's got vacancies, everybody's doing the same thing. So, unfortunately, it's just the way we have to operate.
It's a tough labor market too.
Extremely tough. So, the economy's good, a lot of jobs out there. Everybody's looking to hire, whether it's in this line of work or something else.
Sure.
Your medical vacancies, are they both LPNs or is one RN and LPN?
As discussed previously, we're taking applicants for, it doesn't matter if they're RN or LPN. We're trying to basically fill the positions. So the ones we have in background are LPNs, but we don't shut someone out if they're an RN, they're interested, and we can kind of meet that salary requirement. So especially with our population numbers increasing because of contract beds, we definitely need that full complement of medical staff. So.
Financial report, Steve.
All right. Sorry, Stephanie.
$500,967.16 was received from the Compensation Board in June for the May 2019 salaries and benefits reimbursement, of which of that $158,150.47 was for vacancy savings for May and June of 2019. The contract bed rental billing for June 2019 was as follows: Culpeper County, $80,984. Page County, $86,009.59. And Prince William County, $1,980. The total bed rental revenue for FY19, including revenue from medical, housing, commissary, and telephone, but excluding medical, housing, and commissary for June, is $1,625,174.90. June marks the end of the fiscal year. Expenditures are at 100.16% used, and revenue is at 96.91 realized. The expenditures appear as over budget due to the refunds that were given to the member jurisdictions, and this was a result of the cumulative true-up, showing as an expense in line item 9999 that was not budgeted. There's still some expenditures and revenues that will be received for fiscal year 19 in July. One other note, Mary Earhart and her team are scheduled to be on site August 1st to conduct a preliminary field work for the FY19 audit. That's the report.
Do you have any questions? That was just a refresher for me. The budget for outside contract bed rental was $175,000.
I believe so, and it was under 200. So certainly we, on the positive side, also a lot of that return of the surplus.
All right, agenda item number 5 is corridor connector service contribution.
As in, I guess last year was first year, Mr. Stanley, for the contribution. Can't remember if it was last year or year before.
This will be the third.
This third year, I'm sorry. We have the corridor connector here in Warren County, which provides transportation services from the jail, allowing people to get to either their jobs in Warren County or to, if they're released from custody, at least get them a ride back to town. So it's been a successful program as far as allowing people that don't have an opportunity to, get a ride from someone when they're leaving here, if they're getting to and from work, to give them reasonable cost transportation to get where they need to go. To take a taxi cab ride from here to 3 miles down the road, it's 10 miles each way. So,
You said
$10, which is just crazy. When a lot of these people in work release, they're not making $50,000 a year. They can't afford that. So
They're basically working an hour or more each way just to pay their transportation.
right. So the connector bus has been a blessing for that. A lot of the businesses that they work for, they're glad that the connector's there so they can get to and from. It does require some funding from the facility, from RSW to help offset those costs for that connector. Last year it was the same contribution as requested this year, which is $20,000, I believe. Yeah, $20,000, which is not coming out of our general budget. That actually comes out of the inmate account because it benefits them. It's the bus ride is a benefit for them to get to and from work, or to get them a ride back to town.
Because we've got a couple new board members, the total cost of service is close to $60,000 per year. RSW is putting up basically a third, the county a third, and then I've got business and industry in the corridor that are putting up the remaining funds. Valley Health is a large contributor, $5,000 a year. So,
How many folks are using it from this facility, given month?
I don't have the most recent stats. I don't know if the connector has been tracking that, but typically on any given day, I would say have at least 4 to 6, on a one-way trip, and then of course they're bringing it back. So, it could be as many as 12 to 15, if you count each way.
and it really depends on where they're working and the times that they work with.
Right.
Work release is responsible for getting themselves to their place of employment.
They are. But there's, other than a taxi cab, there's not.
Sure, unless a relative or somebody.
Right.
We had lots of complaints the first year or two of getting work release inmates walking up and down 522 in the middle of the median and 60-mile-an-hour traffic, and you know, obviously when it gets to be 90 plus, or if it's freezing and see them walking through 2 feet of snow, those are the more difficult days, but just not, from a safety standpoint, wouldn't be a thing.
Just for my edification, where are they working here in Warren County Front Road predominantly?
Typically, it's down the corridor here, so they're working at FDR or Nature's Touch. Some of the
There were with some of the fast food restaurants.
Some of the fast food restaurants, you know, they're by 66 and 522. So it varies, but most of the people we have, they're working at FDR, Nature's Touch, which, you know, the corridor can get them to, and they don't have to walk. There is no additional charge for our inmates, so if they do get a ride from here, they just get on. So there's not an additional cost to them. What we pay covers that for them.
So this was included in our annual budget?
No, because it doesn't come from tax dollars. It comes from the commissary revenue and things like that to pay for it.
So we used to call a canteen fund.
At the risk of oversimplifying that, so the inmates are actually subsidizing to some degree.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Do you need a motion for that?
I think
Do we need action today?
So is this something that the board needs to?
Yeah, in fact, I believe it's on there.
Yeah, I think just make a recommendation to the board.
And maybe somebody can refresh my memory what the F&P is authorized to do relative to the board.
You're authorized up to 20, right?
20. And then I forwarded the policy this morning, and the current policy, the way it's written, it doesn't differentiate between F&P and board. So it just says anything over 20,000 would be a board action.
Given that it's a
In a
finance
nutshell,
matter,
that's what
it
it
would
would
make
be
sense to come
appropriate
through this
for
body.
a recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, any more discussion on that matter?
So,
Entertain a motion.
move that we recommend to the full board that regional jail fund the $20,000 request
Second.
out of the commissary fund.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the $20,000. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Other outstanding issues? Nothing from legal counsel? No number?
Just thank Russ and his team again for the help they're providing right now in the work crew.
We have a district court facility that's, I believe it's about 10 years old. We desperately needed some landscaping, and finally dawned on me to have our Parks and Rec director bring the work release crew down, and they knocked it out in 2 days, and it looks like a totally different facility. So
That's great.
job well done.
I know there's been a request to possibly do some painting for one of the judges' chambers as well, so we're actually coordinating some of that work too. So, yeah, wherever we can schedule, you know, we're getting a lot of requests, but, you know, it keeps them busy and we're glad to do it.
How are your numbers and available crew members?
Typically, we're running about 5 on each crew, maybe up to 6. So, you know, you're looking 10 to 12 workforce.
And that availability is not an issue?
Yeah, pretty constant. So, you know, even if we've got people that are authorized, say work release, we may start them out on workforce, you know, especially if they've got a longer sentence. So, you know, we've always kind of got that filled. You know, we may keep them on workforce to kind of see if they're going to adjust, you know. We'll just, you know, run them 2 or 3 months in workforce and then move them over to work release. So it's a good place to kind of start them before just kind of turning them back loose out in the public.
Seems strange. I think our Parks and Rec director was sad to see one of them go from workforce to work release. He was a
Right.
good contributor to the team.
Right.
All right, anything else?
That's sir. Motion to adjourn.
All right, motion to adjourn made. Second.
Needs a second.
All right, we're adjourned.